The Cleveland Cavaliers went into TD Garden and beat the Boston Celtics 132 to 123 in an overtime game. The Boston Celtics now have an opportunity to return the favor in the Cavs arena. What are your expectations for this matchup?
I expect that the Boston Celtics will amp up their defense. I expect that. Their offense looks good, but that defense, especially around the perimeter, needs to be fixed. And I think they'll do that for this coming. I think they'll do that for the next game against the Cavs because they realize that the Cavs exposed them in that. So yeah, that's what I think. That's my expectation for the
Uh-huh.
Boston
I
Celtics.
expect this rematch to be woo, fantastic. Let me tell you, I knew Donovan Mitchell was a three-time All-Star, but what I didn't know was how good he is.
Donovan Mitchell
Blew me
is
away.
dominating as a Cavalier. I can't even. Wow. Just wow. You know what though? It is good to see that he was able to transition to a new team and still be as dominant as he was with the Jazz because he was the Jazz. Let's just be honest.
Mhm.
Donovan Mitchell was the Jazz. However, in this particular offense, in this particular roster with the Cleveland Cavaliers, when he's playing with a new set of bigs, and then you got Karis LeVert finally finding his footing with the Cavs,
Mhm.
and that pairing in that game was amazing to watch. And so, yeah, I'm happy to see that Mitchell is still dominating. I just love it.
Yes. Now, if we could talk about this OT game, I noticed that the Boston Celtics seem to get off to a great start, but something happens after halftime when they just let up. They have to continue to stay and keep pushing. And, honestly, I think that's a Coach Udoka thing. Not having Coach Udoka on the sidelines. I mean, you mentioned that defense needs to step up. That's what Coach Udoka stands for. And we're starting to feel his absence. I don't care how you look at it. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. But I'm gonna also mention that Robert Williams III
Yeah.
is it is noticeable that he is not in the game. Noticeable. They miss him and they need him. They need that type of play for real
Yes.
because what he has done is that he's able to at least take up the slack when they make mistakes because he's just so dominant. Like, I
Mhm.
hate that they don't have him at the top of the season because I realize that he is a major piece in their defense, and they're missing that. And so, I think until he comes back or Blake Griffin assumes that, even in the slightest, they'll need something like that. I'm not expecting Al Horford to do it. He's too old. I don't expect him to do that. That Robert Williams III play production is sorely missed on the Boston Celtics. It just is.
Mhm. Now, for this particular game, Grant Williams was suspended, right? So Boston Celtics missed his three-point shooting, and he's a pretty good defender. I
Yes.
think when I think about Grant Williams, I remember him playing Giannis, 101, and he was bodying up Giannis. So they could have really used
Yep.
him in this matchup because Grant is not too big. I think he's 6'6", but he plays a lot bigger than he is.
Yeah, and he is also reliable on the perimeter. He is
Oh yeah.
reliable when it comes to three. Yes, he gets in the spots at the top, over there in the corner. It's a guaranteed bucket. So yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of hate that he wasn't there as well. Although I do have a problem with them suspending him for touching the ref, but
Oh, it
that's a
was
whole different topic.
exactly. Now the Cavs allow about 100 points per game. They're top three in defense. Boston Celtics this season right now, they're allowing about 115 points.
Mhm.
See, that's a Coach Udoka thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think about the rebounding. If I looked at the last two losses that the Boston Celtics had, wi- um, Boston Celtics had 30 rebounds. Cleveland had 42. First of all, somebody else got. You don't have Robert Williams. Somebody else got to get these rebounds, right?
Hmm.
Boston, and then also the 3% shooting was also a big difference, right? Boston shot 39% from three. Cleveland 45% from three. It's those types of things. Now, if they can kind of balance that out a little bit better between the two, then maybe Boston will have a better chance. But and then look, then I'm gonna go back when the Boston Celtics played the Chicago Bulls. Boston rebound numbers was 45, and the Bulls had 60. Like there is a rebounding deficiency right now with the Boston Celtics because against those two teams, the Boston Celtics lost, right? So that's where Robert Williams the third, that's where his absence is being seen. And so I think they need to really work on that. And to your point, with Grant Williams being out, your 3-point shooting
Uh-huh.
percentage has gone down. So yeah. And I know that they're double teaming, especially in the Cleveland game. They double teamed Jason Tatum. I know that. I know
Yeah.
that. But Jalen, for some reason, can figure out a way to shimmy through him. Jalen Brown is he does he got that dog?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a quiet dog. I mean, Jason and Jalen both had monstrous games, both scored 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 rebounds for Jalen. But the C's had 28 assists. So that tells me that even though the Jays are getting their production, they're still sharing the basketball.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan and LeVert both scored 41 points. Mobley had a double-double. Allen had a double-double, but they only had 18 assists. So there's that
Mm.
little discrepancy as well right there. I personally would like to see Donovan Mitchell share the ball a little bit more.
I can
I
support
know
that.
he's the primary ball handler with Darius Garland being out. And he has, oh my goodness, really done well during this period of time. But he's shooting the ball 22 times. He's
Mm-hmm.
not used to playing with a skilled big and other very talented players. So
Very
that
talented.
is one thing that I think he could work on. And
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely going to need to do that in this next matchup, the rematch. So who
Yeah.
do you think will win this matchup, rematch?
I think the Cavs gonna run it back. I think they're gonna do it again. I have the Cavs coming out. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay. I think
Mm.
the Boston Celtics will make their adjustments.
Okay.
And they have to get that get back in the Cavs arena. You're not going to just waltz into the TD Garden and beat us in an overtime game. Think we're going to take that. So, no, I think the Celtics will get revenge in this game.